Ifoma Ibonwa, and I'm recording this video testimony for Abuja, Nigeria. I got married, and then after the wedding, we decided to go to the fertility clinic. And then when we got there, the result was something else. I was diagnosed with high prolactin, I was diagnosed with PCOS, I was diagnosed with blocked fallopian tubes. It wasn't the good news, and I became very sad and demoralized. My husband kept on telling me was that what God cannot do does not exist. He wasn't even bothered, he wasn't even shaking. I was the one that was all demoralized. And then they now said we're going to start treatment, but the first treatment I was going to be on was the treatment to unblock the fallopian tubes. Sometime in September, October, our doctor kept on calling and said that okay, that he needs to prep me for the procedure and the rest of them. And we said okay, that no problem, that we were that when we were ready, we were going to come to the clinic for that. I joined the prayer that morning, but you know how you just put on a phone and then just keep it, and then I just relaxed to just sleep. But I just kept the phone on just to let the prayer just be going on. And then along the line, Daddy started prophesying, women seeking for the fruit of the womb, receive your babies, carry your babies, carry your babies.
These no babies, I am saying. These no babies. These no babies. Where are the women looking for the fruit of the womb? Your time has come. Rakativa, Orabea, 30 years barrenness, 40 years barrenness, 15 years barrenness, 18 years barrenness, 16 years barrenness, 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, 3 years. Akadaba, Rakadaba, Rabiadasa, Ayadas, Bitaminata.
I started screaming amen from my spirit, like I was shouting the amen. I was screaming amen in my spirit, and then I screamed it out, and then I had these chills all over my body. The doctor kept on calling and said, okay, we need to start the tube flushing or something like that, just to unplug the tubes. So we said okay, and as at then he was now more specific on the amount the procedure was going to cost. And then we now said okay, no problem doc, let's just go and get the money and then we would come for the procedure. So he said okay. I think on the 13th of November or so, I can't even remember the date precisely, I was just coming down from walking back home, and one spirit now said, why don't you've screamed amen, you've claimed it, why don't you just go and do a pregnancy test? I was like, I beg, maybe not even go and do the one that would demoralize me now. And it was almost like I was walking back home, but the spirit kept on dragging my leg to the lab technician's place. And lo and behold, I found myself there. She took my samples. I sat down and I was just waiting. And then the next thing, she comes out and announced, like after 5 minutes, she comes out and says, madam, please go and buy more for us. So they're not going to leave here with this result like that. And she said, congratulations, you're pregnant. Like, Jesus Christ. Like I didn't know how to cry. Like when Daddy says, how will you shout? I don't think I shouted. I couldn't shout. I was just I was shocked. I had tears in my eyes. I went to the doctor's clinic and asked of him, but he said he wasn't around. So I was like, okay, that I want to do a scan and a pregnancy test. And they said, oh, Dr. Gilbert is not around, that there's no need when you come back, because they saw me as a patient for the procedure, so there was no need actually for doing pregnancy test. I should not bother wasting my money when it comes. Actually, I'll just pay for the procedure. And I was like, oh no, I want to do a pregnancy test. So we did it, and it came out positive again. And then the scan could show the little blip there, and they said, oh madam, congratulations, you're pregnant, the baby is still very early, so we won't be able to detect the heartbeat now and the rest of them. Just go home and have enough rest. So I went back home, I told my husband, we were so excited. At least I got like 2 confirmations before telling him. So he was so excited, we were happy. And then we scanned everything to the doctor. And then when he called, he said, Ifoma, this can only be God. I said, yes, that what God cannot do does not exist. I was so grateful to God that the doctor on his own, knew that it wasn't medically done. It was just God. He said your results and everything about you shows that you cannot conceive naturally. But how this thing happened, that he cannot even say, because we are not even paid for the procedure to unblock the tubes. and the rest of them. So he was excited, and then the journey was smooth. And we want to thank God because God is faithful. So my baby's name is Chiboy Ibonwa, which means God is my friend, because God showed up for him. What God cannot do does not exist.
And as we video celebrate our God, celebrate, celebrate.